go, 5 lights, and away we go. Edge on pole position. Off they go, and I see he's got a decent start there. Edge got a very good one. He's clear into turn 1. Into 3rd place by the looks of it goes Silver.
Oh, and there's a car off! It's stopped Thomas into the wall. He lost a bit of his front wing.
There's all sorts of fun and games going on into the fast chicane there. Rev, oh, and OceanChief get together, and off goes Ocean into the wall. So Edge,
He's getting into the nose.
about a half a second ahead of Sergio. Sergio's running a little bit wide, hitting the wall on the inside. That was a big impact. I'm not sure whether it got any of the front wing. It looked like he might have been alright. Very close now. Copy having to go to the outside of Bams as they run through turn 8 absolutely side by side. And I think he might just have this side by side on the exit. Going to be side by side, I think, all the way up towards the far chicane. Who's going to blink here? Bance on the outside, Copy on the inside. Bance. Yup, it's that time again, folks. Welcome along. Sunday afternoon can only mean one thing. It's 2SRL here from Silverstone. Welcome along to this round 8 of the championship. I'm Terra Incognita. Alongside me, once again, Thimo Brown. How's it going, Thimo?
It's going great. Hello. We're back in Silverstone. After last week I wasn't there. And now I'm looking forward to see Silverstone. Is that actually a visual bug, or is King Buzzo driving on wet tires?
Nope, they are hard tires, in fact. They are almost the same colour as wet tires, but not quite. And they have an H in the middle of the little icon rather than a W, so that's how you can tell. But yeah,
I just saw it from the onboard of another. I was very confused. Forgot about their existence. I think Silverstone's the only track featuring them.
Yeah, it might be the only track in the game featuring them. I can't think, because Spain, I'm pretty sure, has super softs and no hard tires. So yeah, it might be the only time in the whole year we see these hard tires into SRL, and we're going to see them.
So bad, I don't even think we will see them in the race.
Yeah, we might not. It might be soft to medium. For the front runners. Don't know yet. We might have rain, of course. We've had rain in lots of Silverstone races in the last few, in both SLR and 2SRL, so we'll see if we get some more rain in the race for this one. Don't have a weather forecast just yet. If anyone does, then let us know. But we should have a good one today. We got the rare sight of Revo in a Toro Rosso, which is going to be interesting. Normally in the Ferrari, of course, but he's still only a reserve.
Okay, also a rare sight, we've got Benz outside of a McLaren because he forgot to pick his car.
Oh no.
The Mercedes now.
Well,
must be kicking himself.
That's unfortunate. He gets to be Clara's teammate instead of Tipsy's teammate. So Bance, a little bit of an unfamiliar livery in this one.
Tipsy notices betrayal.
And we've got a few new drivers as well. We've got Rolls-Royce in the Sauber, who we haven't seen before in 2SRL. We have Kevin in the McLaren, who's Tipsy's teammate, at least for the time being, temporarily, while Bance figures out his car situation, maybe for next week. And we have King Buzzo as well in the Force India. We've already mentioned he's on hard tyres for this outlap. So a few new drivers, and quite a few also coming over from SLR, who are also SLR regulars.
The rain is set to be completely dry all the way.
Wow, fantastic. Good to hear. We're going to get a dry Silverstone race, which we don't get very often. But we're going to get one here today. So
Very true.
So here is Triton. He's about to start. In fact, is he finishing his lap? I think he's finishing his lap. He might be one of the first to cross the line. In fact, Effective is the first to cross the line in the Renault. He does a 31.2. King Buzzo on those hards does a 29.3. Triton, though, with the soft tyres, 27.1. That's a pretty reasonable lap immediately. Popo, though, beats it 26.7. Kevin also showing reasonably good speed in his first race, 27.7. And a few drivers crossing the line now. So what was pole yesterday? It was a 25, right? I think it was a 25.8.
25.8 on 9 from us. No, wait, from Copy. Yeah, exactly. Astro had, I think, 0.9, and Copy had a 26.8.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. I think they were the only two in the 25s as Triton gets right out of the way in his on his slowdown lap.
Danico looked reasonably fast in qualifying yesterday, so let's see what he can do in the Williams.
Yeah, decent first lap as Jesse gets a lot of opposite lock. They're good lap from Jesse, the 28.0 on the soft tyres.
Also good lap from Danico because it's on mediums. So.
Yeah, he's they're probably, I don't know, what is it? What is the delta between the tyre compounds? It's about 0.6 of a second, 0.7 of a second.
Yeah.
So Danico probably, in terms of overall pace, about 4th in this qualifying session. A pretty good effort from him. Here is Vance coming around the last couple of corners as well. Motor drivers completing their first lap. Vance puts in a good lap, 27.0. Puts it second. Nick as well has put it third, and is on an in lap now in the Ferrari. So Nick with another 27.0. Revo, I guess, abandoned his lap. I guess he invalidated it. So 12 minutes of this session still to go. Here is our championship leader, who's on his outlap at the moment. Hugo's, who's been performing very well this season in both leagues, honestly. Not been an SLR regular, but has been a 2 SRL regular and leads the championship by some way. He won last week, of course, in Austria too.
Yeah, he's really strong this season in both leagues, as you said. I do wonder how Revo will perform, because of course last time in Canada he was decent. He was probably not as strong as you would expect a 3-time world champion, but on the other hand he didn't do any practice and he didn't drive for half a year, so it's still very good effort.
Yeah, fresh off our 4th place finish last night in the Sebring 6 hours, which probably should have been a 3rd place finish, but never mind, still good points. There's Hugo's then starting his qualifying lap, and yeah, Jeremy putting some pressure on the Sauber boys, wanting them to perform well, because neither he nor Aradon could be bothered. I mean, could make the race today.
Interesting wording from you. Do I hear any sarcasm there?
No. I wouldn't do that.
Good to know.
So trying to find somebody who's on a fast lap is Tipsy, who I think just probably invalidated his lap by going wide at Cops. Maybe not though, he's still on full ERS deployment. Doesn't look like he's pushing particularly hard though.
Yep. He's driving a conservative lap because he hasn't got one in yet.
Yep, that might well be why. Hugo's now just going through the Beckett's complex. This is his fast lap. Didn't quite get it turned into that left-hander. Ran a little bit wide in the right-hander. DRS open down the straight. He's giving it everything that car has. Turns it in a little bit early on the apex. Usually get away with running wide in Stowe there, and there's lots of grip on the tarmac on the outside. Tipsy did put a lap in. It was a 28.3.
Oh, Hugo's
putting
it on pole. With a 26.5 provisional pole for him.
Good lap.
Still some room for him to improve, but already good laps.
Yep, good stuff from Hugo's, 26.5. Who else have we got out there at the moment? Is Revo on a fast one? Revo is on a fast one. So we'll go on board with Revo. Down the back straight. Heading up towards Stowe Corner. Seems to still be on it, using all of his hybrid. Ooh, didn't quite get that turn into the apex. Runs wide on the exit, just as Hugo's did. Again, a little bit conservative with the line, Revo. Oh, missed the apex there badly.
Yeah, he doesn't use all of the track on entrance, for example.
Yeah, that was, from what we saw of the second half of that lap, that was not a particularly strong start for Revo. Probably Just getting his eye in though, 28.7 from him.
It's not quite warm yet, from the looks of it. Let's see how this lap goes.
So here is Triton as well. We'll follow on board with Triton here, who again is one of the championship contenders in 2SRL. Around this lap, through the first couple of corners into the very tight right-hander. Oh, ran very wide there in the right-hander, struggling a lot with understeer, and that will be the end of that lap because he really didn't get that car slowed down and turned in for those slow corners, Triton. So halfway through this session now. Vance going down the Wellington straight.
Doesn't look like Revo's about to improve because his first sector was better than his original one, but the second wasn't.
Yeah, I would
so
imagine.
He's down now.
Yeah, he's turned his hybrid off and he's pitting.
Oh, okay.
So, and he had turned his hybrid off, I think, for most of that lap. So I guess just getting some practice in, which is fair enough. It's not the easiest of racetracks in F1 2018. Partly just because the tyres are lacking so much grip that it doesn't really feel like anywhere else. On the soft tyres it's okay, on the mediums it's very dicey and the tyres need a couple of laps to warm up. On the hards it's almost impossible to get a good lap time in.
You can do one stop from softs to mediums, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, if you're good with tyres, as Bance goes second on a 26.6, if you're good with tyres, you can do that. And I certainly think that it's not worth qualifying on mediums, and we've not really got anyone on mediums at all at the moment with their fast lap. Only Effective and King Buzzo, who aren't in the top 10 anyway, on mediums right now with their fast lap. So I think the strategy is pretty clearly either, if you're not good on tyres, it's softs to hards. If you are good, it's softs to mediums. And I think that will be the pattern that we'll see in this race. This is on a fast one. Clara going around Luffield right now in that second Mercedes, just hanging on to the top 10 at the moment with 27.9. Oh, a Noel. Yeah, so Clara, I think, got a little bit loose on the exit of Copse. And Noel, I guess, had an accident at Copse. And Clara just slammed into Noel.
Isn't Clara about to get DQ'd? Okay.
If he didn't move, he was, but I guess he decided that he didn't particularly want to be DQ'd. But yeah, Noel is going to be starting from the back. He didn't get a lap in at all. And that was the end of his qualifying session, coming to a very violent end there. So he'll be starting from the back in the Ferrari.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Clara will now be forced to limp home without a wing at all.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah, he drove into the wall as well, Clara. I don't know if that was under his control particularly, but it looked a bit weird. Tipsy coming through the Beckett's complex again. Didn't really attack the first part of that and swung a little bit wide on the final part as well. Getting the power down nicely down the hanger straight. And in fact he abandons the lap. Oh no, he doesn't abandon the lap. Excuse me. Through the last couple of corners, I thought he was heading into the pits. He decided not to. So out of the last corner, Tipsy will be improving. And he goes 10th on a 27.7.
Now we have the other McLaren of Kevin. And ahead of Clara. But now on time, he will run into trouble. This will be his last lap, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is he still pushing?
I don't know. I'm watching. Oh, Nick's pitting. Never mind. Kevin is about to come out of the pit lane by the looks of things.
Yeah, Tipsy is still pushing. He's trying and he's got the
Yeah.
slightest of margins improvement in Sector 1.
So Tipsy, we'll see if he does decide to complete this lap. He needs to pit this lap if he wants to get out and do another fast one. There's only 3 minutes left in the session. Ooh, that was a lot of understeering cops.
That should be an invalidation, honestly.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Is it not?
I don't know. I really struggle with the invalidation rules. Oh, who was that? He's getting it very loose on the exit. I think that was Rolls-Royce, who made a little bit of a mistake, but he got away with it. It was on an out lap. So Tipsy, I imagine, will pit.
Yeah,
he slows right down. So Tipsy into the pit lane. We'll get serviced, and we'll have time to go out for another lap. So 2.5 minutes of this session to go.
Will he though? Oh.
I think so. It takes, well, it's a minute and a half lap. So if you're out of the garage by 1:40, 1:45, it's close. It is close. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think he will just be okay if he doesn't get held up for anything.
Here is Triton then, who for real this time is going to try and do a fast lap. Is he going to get it slowed down for the first of these very tight corners in the complex? Barely. The second was much better. He got a good run out that time through Village and onto the Wellington Straight. Looked like he did get the power down nice and smoothly. Into Brooklands he goes. Oh, and that's not an apex. Oh my goodness. Triton.
Tipsy's still not out. I don't think he tries again.
Triton really overdriving this Haas. Pushing far, far too hard. In fact, he's abandoned this lap altogether, and he's going to go for one more run. And yeah, Tipsy, you were right. Tipsy is not going to do another lap. Here is our triple champion, Revo, who is getting out of the way of various people on his out lap.
Tipsy claiming that he screwed up his lap because someone has smashed the marker boards.
Oh dear, we got the fun game of destroying the brake markers, which is quite unfortunate.
Danart, is it you?
On board with Vance as King Buzzo retires from 13th. Vance.
Oh! Gutsticles! And Gutsticles just had a big, violent impact in the car of King Buzzo, and someone goes up in the rear there. That is Triton in the rear, in the back.
So Triton retires, Gusticles retires as well. That was unfortunate. Oh, Vance with the opposite lock on the way out of the last corner does not improve. Just barely.
As well. Good.
Very close at the front. Danico going through Beckett's now on what is not a fast lap for him. Is Hugo still on a fast one? Yes, he is.
Popo!
Popo with a very good lap from Popo on the Sauber. 26.3 from him. Hugo's, though, coming through the last corners. Is he going to be able to improve? He needs to find 2/10 from somewhere. Runs wide on the exit of the penultimate corner. And just about gets it by 15 thousandths of a second. 1 minute 26.312. Hugo's, I think, is going to be the pole sitter. Unless Nick can find something on his final lap. He ran wide on the exit of Beckett's, though. Stowe throws it in there. Doesn't really hit the apex. Runs as wide as everyone else has been running on the exit there. Through the last couple of corners, Nick crossing the line. He's not going to improve, though. 27.0 from Nick. So he will start this race 7th, and Hugo's, having won the last race, will be on pole. So there is the qualifying result. Hugo's and Popo Gamer with an excellent lap, putting himself second. He was pole for a while, till he was just pipped by Hugo's Bance and Danico will be on the second row, Slash LP Rolls Royce on the third row, and then Nick and Triton on the fourth row of the grid. Kevin on debut 9th, TipsyBob 10th, Revo in the best position in terms of tyres at least, starting 11th. So that's your grid, and before we go to the race, let's just have a little reminder of what we're going to see next Friday evening. This, in fact, is what we're going to see next Friday evening. Of April, join us for that one. The tournament, 3 races and 5 leagues involved this time, so put that one in your diary. Here is the formation lap, and it looks like we don't have any desync issues today, which is progress from yesterday, so good stuff from F1 2018 today.
And it's really sad that we have to call this progress. but it's good that it's there. I mean, that it's not there.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun yesterday, having to work out exactly where Astro Boys was based on Thimo's commentary.
It's just a challenge for the mind.
Absolutely. As Revo said, improving the imagination of everyone watching through fun games. Tipsy is not happy, says Kitsune. So he actually said that in chat. Yeah, Revo did.
Oh, I expected him to say
he's reformed Revo. He's not.
Oh, hold up.
Yeah.
Oh, either that was desync or we just had a good crash between Kevin and Clara.
Oh dear.
That looked great.
It's the formation lap, folks.
You've got 26 more laps to catch and you don't have to do it now. It doesn't even have any use to it. Why were they even able to come together? Why were they behind each other? What the...
Yeah, half of the grid is out of order. I did notice that. So everyone, the cars in the background there, and the McLaren, that's 10th place TipsyBob, and the car we're on board with at the moment, who's several placed in front of him, is 14th place Jesse. So everyone has decided to do their own thing on the formation lap.
Hell yeah.
We go at the front of the field. We have everyone in position already. Everyone coming through at the back as well. The last car to line up will be Mr. TipsyBob himself, who is not a happy bunny by all accounts, at the braking markers being some weird lag as well, but the braking markers being destroyed in qualifying incurred the wrath of TipsyBob. So here we go.
Noel, first race without assists.
Good stuff, Noel. Here, 5 lights and green. Eventually a jump start for TipsyBob. That's not going to improve his mood as Hugos gets a reasonable start. Popo Gamer on the inside, though, has to leave him a little bit of room. Noel has gone around.
Behind Clara around. Gutsickle's out. And Noel didn't even make it off the line. And Tipsy, I was on board with Tipsy when his jump start happened. Honestly, just didn't get away, and Kevin spun into the way of the others, but oh, never mind.
Nope,
cool.
Kevin's okay, and down the back straight they go. Triton is fighting at the moment with Slash LP side by side, heading into Brooklands. Slash LP on the inside. Triton just sweeps around the outside, though. He's going to hold that at least for the time being. He'll have the inside for Luffield, and I think he'll be able to take that position. But up front, Hugo's getting a very good start and getting away fairly cleanly. It's Popo in second, Bance third, Rolls-Royce fourth, Danico fifth, and Triton, who managed to get that position from Slash LP, up in sixth.
Yeah, the start at the back was really chaotic from what I've seen. So Noel was in the wall pretty early, and then Clara and Gusticles collided in turn 1. And
Oh, mistake from Nick. Nick's going to lose at least one position here to King Buzzo. He ran wide on the exit of Beckett's. So he loses that place. Revo as well, I think, is moving up, passing Jesse around the outside into Stowe.
Nice maneuver. Jesse started on the medium tyres, interestingly enough. And
Nick with a little bit of a dive, into King Buzzo. Just about got away with it, but didn't manage to get the position, but kept his front wing. So here is the end of lap 1 then. Hugo's leads. It's very close up front though. The front 3 you can see in the distance there, around Village Corner. As the Sauber of Rolls-Royce trails all 3 of them. Hugo's leading. Popo Gamer second, but really looking interested in taking that lead away. On board with him now. Oh, Tipsy says he didn't get a jump start, so that's unfortunate for Tipsy. Got a penalty for it, but didn't actually jump the start.
He didn't do one. I was on board with him.
Okay.
He honestly didn't get away at all.
Okay, yeah, he was lagging in the formation lap. We saw him lagging in the formation lap, so perhaps that was why, but very unfortunate for Tipsy. His race effectively destroyed before it began. Meanwhile, Hugo's going to have to defend here, I think, from Popo, because Popo right in the slipstream. Hugo's right to the inside, having a look around the outside, but decides not to go for it. Bant's also lurking as well.
Lock up from Hugos, but Popo with an interesting line, and we've got yellows. Anyone off? And Kevin loses out on... Yeah,
Nick managing to defend from Kevin. They were side by side for a couple of corners.
Oh, death from Noel again, I think on traction. Nope. Out of Beckett's.
Well, that's the assists. Oh, no.
He might have cooked
That's
tires.
Always embarrassing. Yeah, those tires are a little bit toasty right now.
Can he get it? Proud of my boy. In the meantime, up front, we've got a really nice snake of cars there. Unfortunately, no iRacing draft snake possible.
Nope, Revo will certainly have got a warning for that little cut in Brooklands. He's following Kevin very closely. Had a little look up to the inside, but nothing doing there. Well, further up front, Hugo's now stretching his legs just a little bit. DRS enabled now, of course, lap 3. And Bant's making a complete mess of Beckett's and losing a lot of time there.
Jesse with a penalty already, not going too well for him. Speaking of people whose race is not going too well, Noel is about to leave the pits after he had to get a new front wing for the 2nd time already, I imagine, and he's about to get lapped by Yugos.
Oh dear. Well, it's going to be a learning experience for Noel as Popo does the fastest lap of the race. Revo got himself into the top 10. He passed Kevin down the hanger straight. We saw that down the inside into Stowe. A little bit of a lock-up from Hugo's, but he did manage to get it stopped, and so the front 3 pretty much as you were. It's not the easiest track to overtake on Silverstone. You do have a lot of dirty air when you are behind other cars. Popo, though, very close now to the back of Hugo's, decides not to go for it, has his battery off. So, content to hold position for the time being. Maybe looking after those soft tyres, knowing that he's going to have to...
Oh, Sasha P and King Buzz are fighting.
Do better later in the race.
And Slasher P looks like he wants to run side by side through Cops Corner. Will he? No, he heals. King Buzzer is going a bit wide there because he wasn't sure whether Slasher P was still on his inside or not. He wasn't, but King Buzzer still went wide now. Now Slasher P is trying to set Buzzer up for a move. Out of Beckett's, but not the best run. Slipstream will still help him though, because I think Buzzer doesn't get the slipstream of Triton. /RP moves to the inside. Will he break early or later? He breaks later. Goes wide, of course, here, and Buzzer does the switchback move. They are potentially still side by side. No, they aren't. Okay. So no revenge into club corner from /RP. Oh, car off! Nick!
Oh,
Never
what
mind.
happened to Nick?
That's Noel.
Oh,
That's
no, it was Noel, okay. Triton got himself a penalty. Popo Gamer as well got himself a penalty. He's in second place right now, and Revo gets one too. Down in 10th place, pushing hard, trying to catch Nick, his former teammate. So Triton, Popo, and Revo, all with 3 seconds right now. Popo very close to the back of Hugo's, though. Hugo's keeping it neat and tidy. Gusticles right at the back with 3 seconds as well. This is a very polite little battle for the first few laps of this race. The front three seemingly content to run in formation, not really attacking too hard.
But that might change soon, because now Popo Gamer is really, really close to the back of Hugo's.
Yeah, well, he's got a full battery, and Hugo's does not. So Popo with a little bit of an advantage on that front at least. And yeah, now putting it into overtake mode, Popo certainly close enough here to have a look at the lead of this race. Bance is also lurking just behind as well. Hugo's decides not to defend, and Popo takes the lead of this race.
Hugo's catches a bit of dirt on the inside there. Not the best run out, and now Bance is really close to him. Can Bance potentially do something? Hugo's gets club all wrong and is almost attacked by Bance, but no room to go through there, of course. Next corner being...
Oh, we've got Clara without a front wing and trying to recover from a spin.
Oh,
so something happened to Clara. Yeah, out of Beckett's on the hanger straight, so he will have to pit for sure. Rolls Royce and Danico fighting for 4th position right now through the complex. Danico struggling on traction. We're starting to get to the point where the tyres are really going to be struggling, those soft tyres, so we're going to see pit stops, I would imagine, in the next 5 laps or so.
Yeah, I think
and Clara retires.
Laps. Oh, rest in peace. Gusticles with the penalty. I think 11 laps or something is how long you can drag these tyres, something. That's at least the number I've got in mind when thinking about it, but I do not know because I haven't driven here for a while in the game.
Noel gets himself 5 seconds for ignoring blue flags.
Blue flag.
Interesting. I don't know who he's got behind him. I guess he's got the Renault of Effective behind him.
Running wide a bit there. Yeah, he'll need some time, but I'm confident he will get there eventually.
Yep, /LP down the inside of King Buzzo into Stowe corner.
Oh, King Buzzo!
Very cheeky from King Buzzo, trying to do the switchback, braking late as well, and I think he's managed to stay in front, at least for the time being. Good stuff from him.
Turned in a bit aggressively there, but it worked at it fine in the end. I don't think there was any contact made.
Yeah, there was just about room on the inside. This is a battle for 4th. Oh, Danico didn't really look like he was in control there, Danico. And,
okay. That's Noel.
Noel having major struggles in that Ferrari.
Now I can already see Nick dying and me not having any emotional reaction because I expect it to be Noel.
So yeah, Noel is a long way down, almost a lap down on the whole field now. As Danico struggling so much to get the power down. Tipsy, well, his day's gone from bad to worse. 3 more seconds.
The problem for Noel, I think, is that he got rid of multiple assists at once. At least he said he's having no assists, and I think he was running line and at least TC or ABS before, so he made a jump into the cold water.
Yep, I've certainly seen some issues on traction for him. So Noel now is a lap behind everybody. King Buzzo and /LP again side by side. Big battle between these two. King Buzzo managing to hold it for the time being. Has to go defensive into club. They will be holding each other up, of course. Nick only a second or so behind them. Slash LP, is he going to have a look into Abbey? He's not. Again, having a look up the inside, scared King Buzzo off the apex there of the right-hander, but then ran wide himself and made a mistake, so he will not manage to get a run onto the front straight. Up front, situation is that Hugos is still in DRS of Popo. They have both dropped Bantz out of DRS range, so it might be that Bantz struggles now to hang on to the back of that little train. See further down the field, Effective having a go up the inside. Oh my goodness, Kevin, that was not really on. Braked a little bit too late into Brooklands. Got away with it, but that was not a clean move from Kevin, unfortunately, in the McLaren.
Gasticut's in the pits now. I wonder why. Maybe his tires were dead because he slid around a bit.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the start of scheduled pit stops very soon. In fact, our leader, Popo, pits and gets himself a penalty as well. So to add to the 3 seconds that he got for cutting the track, he also got 5 for speeding in the pit lane. And he is the first man to pit. Also pitting is King Buzzo from what was 7th place. And Triton, no, not Triton, that's Popo. Danico gets himself 3 seconds as well. So Hugos takes over the lead of this race, and we'll have to remember that Popo now has got it all to do because he's got 8 seconds worth of penalties in that Sauber. So Hugos leads by 1.5 seconds from Bantz. Rolls-Royce, third. Danico just about in DRS range of Rolls-Royce in the Sauber. Danico with 3 seconds as well. I think Triton has 3 seconds too. Do I remember? I think so.
Who's got how many?
Triton has 3 seconds worth of penalties, I think.
I think so as well. Let me have a look.
Okay. Hugo's at the moment driving a very good race. There are the front 4 on the hangar straight. We've got
Triton already with 2 penalties.
2 penalties, okay, so
and a good bunch of warnings.
not a good situation for him, so 2 more warnings as well as Rolls-Royce decides to peel into the pit lane. He would have come under pressure, I think, from Danico. The 2 leaders pitting as well. So the thing about Silverstone is that when you put the medium tyres on, they are not very fast on the first lap. So it might be that Popo is overcut here by either Hugos or Bantz, maybe both even. Bantz is released from the pit lane, I'm sure to his relief. The Rolls-Royce picked Nick pits as well from what was, I guess, 8th. A couple of other drivers towards the back of the field too, but Popo is quite a way ahead, in fact, of Hugos. Oh, not that far ahead, a couple of seconds ahead. He did gain some time though on that lap. Hugos going to have to warm those tyres up.
Indeed. Gavin has dropped down the order quite a bit. Wait, let me check on. Okay, yeah. Pits also aren't updated properly.
So 4 drivers still out on soft tyres, haven't pitted yet. They are Danico, Triton.
4, yeah.
Well, yeah, Tipsy is in the middle of the pack, but of course he pitted. Well, he didn't pit. Yeah, he did pit because he had to do his drive-through. But he is also on old tyres. But it's Danico, Triton, /LP and Revo on lap 10 of this race. Who is going to come into the pits? Are all of them going to come in? Yep, he does. So does Triton.
Not only Revo's missing
so
now.
So does Slash. And yeah, so does Revo as well. So sensible, I think, from all 4 of them. And we'll see where they come out. We have Jesse, of course, out on track, who's going to inherit the lead, at least for a moment. Because he is on the medium tyres. He's going to have the tyre advantage in the second half of the race.
I think I've got... Okay, I just had the epic bug for /LP. I was already concerned.
The epic bug.
With a pit stop where it doesn't display the cars.
Oh, yeah.
But, by the way, something I want to to give a quick mention. I think since Australia, or since Benz it doesn't host anymore, we haven't lost a single driver to the pit lane.
Yeah, I think that's why Revo's hosting this one, so I did notice that. So it might be that because he's hosting, it's a little bit more stable. Wasn't too stable for poor TipsyBob though.
True.
So Popo Gamer last time around did the fastest lap of the race. He's going to have to negotiate Jesse here, who's on old tyres, and I think he's going to catch him in the middle of Beckett's, which is a little bit unfortunate for him.
Oh, Triton! Triton goes off out of left field, I think that is. Just on pure traction. I don't really know what happened there. He was trailing King Buzzer. He was really close to him, and then suddenly just slipped away. Unfortunate for him, and now he's driving into the gravel trap, I think, to commit the big seppuku or something. He leaves the session.
Decides to retire the car. Oh, and Jesse, a little bit of contact there between Popo and Jesse. Jesse not giving it to him around the outside, and he's still there, in fact, on the inside. Popo being held up badly there by Jesse, as Jesse... No obligation, of course, for Jesse to get out of the way, but he lost probably a second and a half there to Hugos, as Effective gets himself 3 seconds. And that's time that he can't afford to lose, because, of course, he got 8 extra seconds of penalties. Hugos now in a very strong position in this race. He's going to have to negotiate Jesse as well, though.
Triton has fallen apart in a major way this season, honestly.
Yeah.
He's won the opening 2 Grand Prix, and then he did not score points twice, then he got 12 in one race, and now the 3rd pointless race in a row.
Yeah, I mean we saw him in qualifying. He was trying so hard and just overdriving the car to a huge extent, and eventually paying for it. Bad news for Hugos is that he's going to catch Jesse in the middle of Beckett's as well, by the looks of things. Although it doesn't get held up too much. A little bit of a mistake though, maybe in the dirty air from Hugos. And we've seen already that Jesse is not going to yield these positions without a fight. So we'll see if Hugos is able to make his way past. /LP going to be moving to the outside of King Buzzo as well, and he gets that position. But yeah, Hugos being
Jesse
held up.
is holding him up big time. Oh, and he is
squeeze off the
forcing
track.
wide.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hugos really struggling to get past. He's not got the run onto the main straight either. 3 seconds for Hugos. That could be a big deal. We haven't seen Bantz get any penalties, so Bantz at the moment I think is in the lead of this race. In actual fact.
Yeah, actually, because Jesse has got penalties as well.
Jesse's got penalties as well, yeah. So Jesse moving to the inside to defend from Hugos here. Hugos going to go around the outside. And oh, Jesse, that was...
Oh, no!
Yeah, that was all his own fault, I'm afraid. He braked far too late for the left-hander.
Did he hit Hugos?
He did hit Hugos, yeah.
Okay.
Hugos was relatively unaffected, thankfully. But that was Jesse's fault, unfortunately. And yeah, that's the end of his race, effectively. He gets himself 10 seconds as well for cutting the inside of Luffield, because he gained a strong advantage there, as you could see. That was sarcasm, he actually didn't. So, 3 seconds to /LP as well.
Okay. Sarcasm on the internet.
Yeah.
Always a nice thing.
So Jesse is going to be overtaken, I think, here by Revo. Oh, just let him pass, Jesse, please. You have a damaged car.
No, this is for his life.
You're about to pit. Just let him go. No need to fight that.
He's going to get beaten up if he doesn't finish ahead of Revo. He has to. I'm afraid.
So back up front, the situation at the moment, we think. So Popo Gamer has 8 seconds worth of penalties. Hugos has 3. and Bantz has none. So Bantz at the moment is in a fight with Hugos. We think Hugos has a little bit more pace. But
and Tipsy is driving really hard behind Effective. Just the casual over driving the car out of the track limits, out of stow and stuff. So he's trying really hard. I wonder if he's going to succeed if he's going to succeed in this battle by taking P12, Effective running a bit wide there through Village now onto the straight. I think Tipsy got the better run and he'll have DRS and Slipstream. That's almost certainly going to be a move. Already alongside now as they pass through the bridge. And yeah, wonder has to happen if Effective is actually able to defend this position. Oh, maybe that is a wonder because he kept his foot in.
Tipsy giving a lot of room there on the outside.
Yeah.
And his run was compromised, I think, as a result. So not able to move past for the time being. We've also got a battle between King Buzzo and Jack, who are, I think, side by side. Difficult to get a camera angle. King Buzzo on the inside into club corner. Jack holding it there, though. And Noel, oh no! Just get out of the way, my dude. He just about does, but that was scary from King Buzzo.
And now TipsyBob was actually past Effective after. Beforehand, he was driving like there was an invisible Astro Boys between them or something. Now he made the pass out of the Maggots and Packets complex onto the hangar straight.
I think he's a good bit faster, so he should be able to keep that position. Good stuff from Tipsy. So 2 battles happening at the moment. There's a Cold War happening up front between Popo, Hugos and Bantz, who are all battling over what is effectively the lead of this race. Bantz at the moment just fractionally ahead of Hugos with 3 seconds advantage penalty-wise. Here is the battle for 5th on track between Danico and /LP. As Noel is having real troubles in this race. More than a lap down and with more penalties. /LP not quite close enough to make a move that time. Neither was Nick on King Buzzo in the Force India. And in fact, at the moment, we'll look at this from Hugos' perspective. He is gaining very slightly on Popo. Of course, he's got 1 lap fresher tyres. As Jesse does finally pit from what was then P10. Excuse me. He will lose probably 2 positions in the pits. But Hugos is closing that gap, and Bantz can't really hold on to the back of him.
Now Jesse finally going into the pits, getting his front wing fixed, and he's heading out, back on track. I think he'll be behind Effective and Jesse out of Gutsicles.
Yeah, looks like it.
Tipsy is effectively 10 seconds behind, getting a point. Gutsicles with a penalty there. And Nick close to King Buzzer.
Well, there's plenty of time for further drama in this race. We've got 10 laps to go when they finish this one. The leaders.
Hugos has picked up pace on Popo Gamer, and now he's actually in the effective lead of the race. With a penalty situation as /LP
and
having
Nick manages to pass King Buzzo as well. King Buzzo made a mistake, I think, out of Beckett's, and Nick managing to get that done before they even got to Hangar Straight, really. So Nick up to 7th. This is the battle ahead of them between Danico and /LP. 3 seconds for Danico. That's, I think, his second penalty.
That might well be true.
So he loses a little bit more ground in this race. As I said, 10 laps to go. The gap up front, 2 seconds. It needs to be 5 seconds for Popo Gamer to win this race. He's got 5-second penalty from speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunately, Hugos also with 3 seconds for cutting the course, but so Popo Gamer got that as well.
Yeah, and Purple Gamer hasn't picked up a single warning after lap 5. But he already had the penalty in lap 5, so that doesn't really help him too much.
That is. Oh, sorry. That's the disconnected Triton.
Yeah, just got spooked by that as well.
Yeah, me too. Good battle though between /LP and Danico. Good run out from /LP that time though. Danico probably not close enough. Even with DRS and even with the overtake setting on his DRS, on his ERS. Just overdriving a tiny bit, Danico. A little bit ragged, braked a little bit too late into Stowe there. Through the last couple of corners they go. 9 laps then between Hugo's and this victory. Hugo's certainly in the best position at the moment. He's pulled out the gap for, ahead of Bantz to nearly 4 seconds. King Buzzo with 3-second penalty. Bantz does not have any penalties that we've seen, so he would win this race if he were to get within 3 seconds of Hugo's, but no sign as of yet of him being able to do that.
You can just see how Danico wants to drive a bit more aggressively and carry more speed out of the corners, but every time /LP's car's just in the way. And oh, King Buzzer almost spinning there the way Triton did. Yeah. Catches the car though. Noel really slow here to let people by.
Yeah, he's already got 1 penalty for ignoring blue flags, Noel, and doesn't want to get another. 3 seconds for Nick as well, so he's obviously trying pretty hard in that battle with King Buzzo. Run a little bit wide there, but King Buzzo must have made a big mistake in Beckett's because he dropped way back. Fastest lap of the race from Popo Gamer. First man into the 29s in this race. There's Danico following /LP through the last couple of corners. This is certainly the closest battle on track right now. Hugo's is closing the gap for the lead. Down to 1.6 seconds, but of course doesn't need to overtake him. Popo has 5 seconds more penalties.
Rebel with a penalty.
Yep. Oh, mistake from /LP. Only a small one, but actually it wasn't only a small one, was it? As Bantz gets himself 3 seconds as well. That's a big deal. But Danico will, I think, get that pass done on /LP on the inside in Brooklyn. So Danico up to 5th on track at least. Noel must be getting close to disqualification at this point. He's had a lot of penalties.
Let me quickly have a look at how many he's got. Nah, it's only 2 penalties at the stop-go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess because he got the stop-go, so... but yeah, he's not anywhere near disqualification in that case. /LP not quite close enough this time to Danico through Stowe Corner. Popo with another fastest lap of the race, 29.8. Hugo's only a couple of tenths slower, but is maybe starting to struggle with those tyres just a little bit. You know, Hugo's with the pad. Another mistake from Slash as he tries to get onto the main straight. Oh, dear, Noel. 2 penalties in very quick succession for Noel.
I wonder if there's something, if something will happen between the top 2 at the moment, between Hugo's and Popo.
Yeah, I mean, they're running in formation at the moment, and Hugo's, of course, will know what the situation is exactly. He's been running behind him for long enough that he can just ask Jeff exactly what the penalty situation is.
Do you get told about unserved? Because
maybe not, actually. Maybe not.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because I mean, they are not technically timed penalties, and he only tells you the time penalty. They only become a time penalty after you cross
at the end of the race.
The line for the last.
Yeah, I think that's right. So maybe Hugo's doesn't know, and maybe he's going to be in for a nice surprise at the at the flag, but at the moment he's not able to make any inroads at all into Popo, who seemingly is going faster and faster every lap as he crosses the line. That was a 29.9 from Popo, and probably a 30.1 from Hugo's, so again not able to make any headway at all. Slash LP does manage to close the gap a little bit to Danico. That was a 29.9 as well from Slash LP as he crossed the line there, having a look on the inside. Danico respecting it, but not being scared off the apex. 3 more seconds for King Buzzo. He's dropped right off the back now of Nick. Nick looking secure in that 7th place. And actually King Buzzo falling into the clutches of Revo as well, who's looking at least a little bit interested in moving up. Jesse passing effective. Jesse on much better tyres, of course. He's on those soft tyres. Less than the battle for 5th. It's been going on for quite a while between Danico and Slash LP. And we'll see now what the run is like as they exit the Beckett's complex. Slash LP, oh dear. Nope, that's not going to get it done. Danico with a much better run through there. Behind them, King Buzzo and Revo. Revo doesn't look quite close enough this time, but not too far away. Yeah, he's not using all of his battery. Just showing himself in the mirrors of Buzzo. Out of Stowe they go into Club Corner.
Slash LP again with a little mistake there.
Yeah, he was very close to the back of Danico there as they went into Abbey Corner. Oh, lots of traction problems for Slash. They go through the left-hander, and we're going to potentially see some people get into some tyre trouble in this race. We know Hugo's on pad, of course. Might start to struggle on those mediums. Popo has taken them 1 lap longer, but seems to be getting faster at the moment, certainly relative to Hugo's. So maybe he's not out of contention for this race wing, Popo Gamer.
Oh, Slash LP and Danica, what is going on there? They are driving
some sort of lag, I think. Either they might be desync for each other, I don't know.
Maybe, I think probably one of them got lagged behind.
Yeah.
Then because the car were inside each other. I mean, one didn't just pop into existence and annihilate the other one, so they stayed ghosted until... Oh, Danico getting warped back again. A strong electric magnet probably, a Slash LP's car dragging him back every now and then.
I don't think they're desync for each other because they are giving each other room when they're racing. It's just, I think you were right. I think one of them lagged. And that caused the cars to interlock just for a second. Revo has passed King Buzzo here. That must have happened down the hangar straight. We missed it, but King Buzzo, I think he's going to take that one lying down. Not close enough into Abbey, but right on the back of that Toro Rosso as they head in towards turn 3. Revo covering the inside, taking the middle of the track. That's smart from him.
Danico's running into a lot of trouble with internet right now, and he's warped behind Slash LP again. Can he maybe retake the position momentarily? No, I think this time it's it. Yeah, he's getting
more lag,
2 lags every few... Or like a lag every few seconds. 2 lags per corner.
Yeah, something like that. So Danico really struggling. Falling off the back now of Slash LP. And he's also got penalties, of course, so I think he'll probably fall behind Nick, and maybe even Revo. Revo has a penalty too, at least one, so maybe not Revo. But Revo coming strong towards the end of this race. Someone else, though, who's coming strong, King Buzzo. We saw him run wide in Cops there, that was why he got that 3 seconds. King Buzzo, this might be a close finish to this race, because he's only now a 1.5 seconds behind Hugo's on paper. He's 4 seconds ahead of him on track, but with 3 laps to go, if he can pull that gap out, he might be in a good position. That's where the meaningful action is. Here is the battle that's still raging between Revo and King Buzzo for 8th. Slash LP and Danico as well. Very close on track. They have been for most of the race. Danico with those internet issues though, just forcing him, just compromising him enough to have him behind Slash LP on the track. Don't know if that was a mistake from Revo. Revo having to go defensive. King Buzzo to the outside into Brooklyn's corner. Revo holding it for the time being. King Buzzo around the outside. Oh, a little bit of contact there, and Revo didn't really leave room. And then got himself pushed out of the apex on the exit of Luffield as well, on the entry to Luffield as well. So King Buzzo gets that position, at least for the time being.
Oh, and he gets a bit wide then. Now Revo will certainly have more momentum. Will he make it too wide through Maggots and Beckets? That's a risky move. And he goes for it, and they make contact, heavy contact. King Buzzo off into the wall, and that's a hard hit.
Yeah, didn't see exactly whose fault that was, but King Buzzo retiring from the session after that. Revo, the last man standing. So I'm sure there will be harsh words after the race from one or the other with that incident. King Buzzo suffering the consequences. He lost the car, having hit the side pod of Revo, and he is out of the race, unfortunately. So no points for King Buzzo. That promotes Tipsy into a point scoring position potentially, but he has Jesse behind him. Although Jesse, I think, has a lot of penalties, so I don't think this is actually a battle on track. Up front though, Popo nearly 4 seconds ahead of Hugos. That's not going to be enough with a lap and a half to go. He needs to be 5 seconds ahead of the Renault unless there's any more drama in terms of penalties. Don't know what the warning situation is, but at any time Hugos could get himself another penalty, and that would effectively promote Popo Gamer into the lead of this race. It's going to be a really difficult last lap for Hugos. We see him struggling with the tyres. We see him slower than Popo where it counts. Popo needs to pull out 7/10 of a second more. Popo crosses the line, does the fastest lap of the race.
Oh, Danico down on the inside, down the inside in Stowe corner, and he takes the position. Will he get lagged back? I think his internet has shown a bit of mercy now, and Slash RP with a late lunge. They are making contact, and yeah, Slash RP gets the worst end of it.
Yeah, it looked like Slash did make the move down the inside. It was a little bit of a dive, but he did hold the inside. But then Danny just giving him a little bit of a nudge, entering the right-hander. Meanwhile, back up front, Popo on the last lap of the race. This is the last lap. Who is going to win this British Grand Prix? It looks like it might be Hugos, who doesn't appear to be losing any more time this lap. 8/10 of a second is what Popo needs to pull out in the second half of the lap. That is a tall order unless Hugos makes a mistake. Hugos very conservative through Cops. Also very conservative through Beckett's. Doesn't have a big enough gap onto the hanger straight. Behind them, Slash LP and Danico continuing their battle. And Jesse right on the back now of Tipsy as well as they head into the complex. But we're going to follow the battle up front, at least for the time being. Popo is going to cross the line first, but he does have a 5-second penalty, and Hugos is going to cross the line, I think, to win this race. He does, by 6/10 of a second. So just as he won in Austria, he's won at Silverstone as well. Bance crosses the line third. Meanwhile, these two continue their fight, and heavy contact between Danico and Slash LP. Slash LP spins, and then I think gets hit by Nick as well.
And Revo might pick up some places in the end. Can he pass them? He's certainly going to pass Slash LP, and Noel gets a bit in the way, and Revo! No, okay.
He had penalties as well, unfortunately for him.
Oh my.
So a chaotic end of the race, but Nick with a 5th place finish in the end there. Danico, despite finishing well ahead on track, had a lot of penalties. And Nick finishing 5th. Revo does jump Slash LP to finish 7th. And then Kevin and TipsyBob, I think, are going to round out the points, the final points paying position. Something happened to Jesse, because he was battling with Tipsy, but in the end, falling behind. He wouldn't have got that position anyway on penalty count back, but...
Yeah, or to quote /LP from the Discord chat, so
Jesse crosses the line, but your winner here at Silverstone is Hugo's, once again in 2SRL, putting his name on the top step of the podium. And the only man yet to finish, Gusticles, who's had a struggle of a race towards the back. But he will finish on the lead lap.
Something not to be said about Noel and Triton, unfortunately.
Yep. And I wonder what King Buzzo is going to have to say with that fight with Revo right at the end of the race. Revo looked like he was sweeping around the outside in maggots, but there was definite contact between the two of them.
Really good race by Rolls-Royce, by the way. He finished... I don't think he got too many mentions because he was just driving there in his own little void.
Yeah, he was...
good race.
He was unfortunately by himself. You're absolutely right to mention him. Yeah, Vance and Rolls-Royce had a little bit of a lonely race between the two of them. But both driving very well. It was the battle up front that we were concerned with. Hugo's winning at his home Grand Prix. The British Grand Prix then won by Hugo's.
Don't say that he's going to burn you alive because you didn't count...
That's true, yeah. He has
from
two
the
home
Weeple
races.
End.
He has two home races, yeah. He's got Silverstone and Suzuka. But he wins this one by 0.6 of a second from Popo Bance. 6 seconds behind in that McLaren, in that Mercedes, excuse me. Not a McLaren because boutism. Rolls-Royce finishing fourth in the Sauber.
Yeah.
And then Nick
I know that we don't have to pick a driver of the day. To pick one, I would definitely pick Noel because it was his first time ever actually driving the car. # no assist master race.
Yeah, I think I like the sentiment, but yeah, there's work to do for Noel. He finished 3 laps down, and he was still driving the car at the end of the race, so he was actually 3 laps down. But he'll get there with no assists.
Yes, I'm confident. So good luck, Noel. I think it was a pretty good race. Honestly, it's a bit of a shame that the lead battle in the end was decided by that one penalty, just because Popo was that bit too fast in pit entry. But I mean, that's the rules, and
yeah, that's the sort of mistake that does cost you a race here and there, unfortunately for Popo. And 0.6 of a second was all that it took. He drove a fantastic race. Other than that, arguably deserved to win, but Hugo's got to be there. You've got to pick up the pieces when the people who are slightly faster than you make mistakes, and that's exactly what Hugo's did. So he does deserve the win in the end, I think. I wonder if we're going to have anybody jumping into the channel to give an interview or something like that. If anybody wants to, let us know before the end of this broadcast. Hey, our race winner has decided to join us. Hugo's. That was a pretty good race. How did that go for you?
Yeah.
Good interview. Yes. Thanks, Hugo's. So that was Hugo's, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you know about the penalty? Oh, bye. Getting trolled.
Well,
did you know about the penalty? That's a very good question.
Yes, I did know about the penalty.
Okay, so you were frantically trying to hang on to a 5-second lead.
Yeah. He was quicker than me, though, to be fair.
Yeah, he set a few fastest laps. He was. It looked pretty close between the two of you.
Unfortunately, he was also quicker on pit entry, so yeah, happens.
Yeah, the first stint was interesting because, I mean, you were on pole and you got away well, but Popo sort of passed you, and there wasn't too much fighting between the two of you. I mean, I guess we were between the three of you, really, because Bance was there as well. I mean, I guess you were You were sort of
Ben's
biding your
helped the
time a
camera.
little bit and trying to get away from the others.
Was that a question?
Kind of, yeah.
Yes.
Fuck's sake.
Is that Ben?
Is that what actually happened? And maybe Bant can answer that question for us.
Well, I was trying to pull away because they were getting DRS and slipstream off me, so.
I got held to the pits again.
You got
Oh. Really?
Yeah,
It
not a whole
didn't
lot,
look
not a
like you
whole
did.
lot. Yeah, a little bit.
How
but,
much did you
I
lose?
I was just outside. I don't know, like half a second or a second, but it was
Okay.
a bit detrimental because I was trying to glide in the DRS to the end because I knew Popo had the penalty too. So I was like, hey, I'll wait to the end and then overtake Hugos. That was the idea, but I came out the pits a bit
Haha.
and I'm like, so. Also, Hugos, you suck at giving interviews, by the way. To
I'm
be fair, I
sorry.
didn't give them a choice because I heard on the stream, I heard you say, are we giving interviews to anyone? I'm like, Hugo's are giving an interview. Drag them in.
Oh, so you dragged him. Okay, I wondered
That's
how
one
that
of the
happened.
first things
Yeah.
you heard was, because you straight answer me.
The betrayal to the channel.
By the way, you forgot to link the stream.
Oh, yeah. Rip.
So,
Oh dear, Timo.
the stream was
That's,
only sent to people
Hold
who
up.
have the subbox.
Hold up. And to people who just know that EGL is a super epic and alpha and knew when to check for the races.
Yeah, only the ascended people were able to watch
Yeah, but I
this one
do
today.
recommend maybe linking it so there's more.
No.
Might be a good
No.
idea. Might be a good idea in future. Oh well, on that very exciting note, let's wrap things up for the stream. We have a few notices to give. One is the fact that all of the races are happening next week. Of course, we got SLR, both tiers of SLR, Thursday night and Saturday afternoon. We have 2 SRL next Sunday afternoon, and a very exciting development as well next Saturday evening after SLR. We're going to be doing some Assetto Corsa.
Amazing. Isn't
So
it? I bet everyone's applauding right now.
that will be fun. We're going to have the first race of the season.
Woo!
That will be Melbourne next weekend. So any final thoughts from anyone before we close?
I want to know
broadcast?
Timo's.
I
Me
want
too.
to know Hugos's.
Hugo's is
Okay.
gone.
Hugo's
Hugo's
wants
has
to
given
stop.
up. Hugo's has given up. That's the end of Hugo's for today. Unfortunately, he's got.
What?
Oh, they want that drive on today.
I thought I was finished, to be honest.
Any,
Just
any
stream
final
back.
thoughts? Hugos, this is a tradition. Any final thoughts?
Good stuff. Thanks very much, Hugo's. Good interviews and good final thoughts. That's the end of the broadcast. We'll see you guys
And
next
see you all
time.
next week.
Bye bye.